Hi, this is Miri again. I'm here to show you one of my favorite tricks that as far as I know, I invented. I haven't seen anyone else mention it anywhere. So when I first started seeing videos about nail powders, nail flakies, these things, that little powders that come in the little jars, but you had to do them with gel nail polish. I won't use gel nail polish. Primarily, well, originally I wouldn't use gel nail polish because I don't want to have to soak my hands in acetone. It's really bad for my skin and my nails. I didn't want to deal with that. Then Nailogical showed that you could use a peel-off base coat, but at the time, the only functional peel-off base coat available is from UNT, or UNT, I don't know how they pronounce it, which is a brand that is not certified to be cruelty-free, and I won't buy them. So I was still not going to do it, and just when Nailogical came out with her peel-off base coat and I was going to try it, I saw a video from Dr. Mike who said that they have been starting to see more cases, potentially. There's no causation yet. They don't know if this is actually related, but you can get skin cancer in your fingernails, and it's very possible that that is made more likely by using UV cured nail polishes. And that is my cat, one of my two cats, trying to get into the picture, and her name is Liba. You want to say hi, Liba? No, she's going to go the other way now. Okay, so I decided I was never going to do this. I had already come up with this idea and figured it out, and so now I'm going to tell you how to do it. That's right, I'd also seen some videos about how you could do it, but you need a water-based base coat, and you need to not quite let it dry completely, and all this other stuff, and it just sounded really complicated, and it would mean buying yet another product. When I had bought this several months before, it's called Orly Bonder. It's a, quote, rubberized base coat. Now, Orly is already cruelty-free, and they're already, I don't remember how many free they are, but they're at least 5 free, so I was happy with them as a company and with their products, and I had been using this as my base coat, my regular base coat, for a long time. And so I got some nail powders and put this on top of my base color. So at this point on my hands, I've put Simply Nailogical's Hollow Taco Peely Base, and because I'm still using it up, it'll be gone soon, and then I'm going to be switching again to Simply Nailogical's One Coat Black. But I'm using up my Cirque Colors Memento Mori black nail polish because it works, and I don't want to just throw it out. But I'm just about done with it. It's gotten to the point where I need to add thinner to get a decent amount of polish out of it. So it's probably about dead, even though it doesn't look it from the outside. So at this point, that's where I am. I have a peel-off base coat and 1 coat of black, which is doing just fine. Now I'm going to take this Orly Bonder and put it over top of the black polish on all my nails. And the really interesting thing about this polish, well, aside from the flat brush, which I love flat brushes. They work much more easily, in my opinion, for certain kinds of applications. Forget it for making sure you get all the way to the edge of the nail, for covering, and for things like that. Though if you're trying to use something that came with a flat brush in nail art, it's probably going to be a bit harder unless you're using a stencil of some sort. But this stuff works pretty well. I mean, it works really nicely as a base coat also. This hand has it as a base coat. I've had this manicure, my right hand has had this polish on for probably a week now. And I mean, it's starting to chip around the edges. I've never been really good at wrapping the tips. It's not something when I try to do it, I end up making a mess, and it gets all, even with longer nails, it gets all over my fingers. And I have figured out some tricks with it, but I just had to shorten my nails because of that broken thumbnail. That broken thumbnail happened because I'm also a volunteer EMT, and we were changing out the oxygen tank on the ambulance, and I accidentally bashed my nail slightly against something, and so my thumbnail is going to, for a while, have that little angle on the side because I didn't want to cut the whole thing all the way down to match that angle. And now that I have this polish on, now I get to just sit and let it dry. And it needs to dry completely. If it's not completely dry, then when you try to buff in the nail powders, it'll actually pull on the polish a little bit and it'll end up making a mess. I did that by accident a couple times. So the goal is actually to have it fully dry. So I'm gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes and then I will be back for the next step. So it turns out I was slightly wrong about one thing with this process. If you really let the rubberized base coat dry 100% completely, because I left it for about 15-16 minutes because I went to watch something, I ended up watching the whole video, it actually dries too far. It stops being tacky. So what you want is to let it dry for 2 to 5 minutes, and you want it to be at a point where you're no longer going to get a fingerprint in the polish. You can't drag it, but it does still have slight tackiness to it on the surface. So then you take polish, or the powder, on the little applicator, and you just buff it right in. Now, something I know from experience, you do have to put a top coat over this. I was demonstrating it to someone I was doing their nails, and she just wanted to know what it looked like before she decided to have me put it on her nail. So I just put on the rubberized base coat, and then I put on the powder on me, and she liked it, and I started putting it on her, and as I was doing her nails, it started coming off of mine. So it does, I meant to leave that finger. I'm going to leave an accent nail because I'm going to put 2 different kinds of powder on. I meant to leave my ring finger, but now I guess I'll do a different one. I'll make it my middle finger, or my thumb. Maybe both of those, that might be fun. So this is the Twinkled Tea nail powder in shade Twilight. It's in lovely green to purple, multi-chrome and hollow at the same time. And I ended up buying from them because I had a really hard time finding cruelty-free nail powders on Amazon or eBay or the other places I go for super cheap things, which, you know, I don't have a lot of money. So I'm just starting my channel. I mean, maybe someday it'll get to a point where it'll actually make me money, but right now I'm just starting a channel. It doesn't really make me, it hasn't made me any money yet. This is the second video I'm making. It's probably going to be the first one I post. So yeah, I gotta be careful, but I was having a really hard time finding nail powders that were cruelty-free, and then I saw that Twinkled Tea, I actually went because I wanted those cat ear French tip guides that they made for Nailogical, and they're the only ones who make them, so I couldn't get them anywhere else. And then I started looking around, and I saw that they had all these other really useful and pretty things, and that their website is 100% cruelty-free. So I'm a fan. And this is their nail flakies in Stargaze. And I will put links to these products in the description. So I'm just going to pick up some of the flakies with the little tool and just kind of press them in. Now these you can't rub in the same way, you have to kind of press them in, and they go everywhere because they've got that large surface area. I mean, you can rub them in a little. They've got that large surface area, so they just fly around, and when you talk and you breathe, they just go everywhere. So they do make a really big mess. But they're super pretty. They give a lot of the same color effects. They're still green to purple gradient, but the pieces are much larger, so you have more. In some ways, it's you know, it's a different texture. It looks different. I like the look of both. Some people might prefer one or the other, and I just accidentally exhaled towards the little pot of flakies and got them all over my desk, which is not great, but you know, the things we do for beauty. And I won't do most of the things that people do for beauty, but I will let my house become a little messier in order to have pretty nails. I do think that's a fair trade-off. I'm going to actually just dip my thumb into it and then buff off the excess. I think that might work. Ah, that's working really nicely. And there's another trick that I learned, that I figured out with a different brand of nail flakies that I don't know if they're cruelty-free, so I'm not going to video with them. is to actually take the little insert and have it, you know, you shake the thing up so you have all the stuff on it, and then you literally just put it on your nail and press it into the corners, and you'll get full coverage. And it actually is a really neat trick that works really well, and I just got better coverage on that nail. I think I'm going to do it to the other one also. All the way into the corners. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. So I'm just going to make sure there's not excess bits sticking up or sticking out. And now I'm going to go in with top coat. This is the one from Certain Colors that I'm using up because I bought it before Nailogical came out with her top coat. It was the best one I could find of the ones, you know, the ones that she reviewed were all either had too many of the nasty chemicals or were not cruelty-free. So I ended up deciding to go with the clear version of the black she loved so much. And it works well. It's a good top coat. And I did put Peely Base all over my nails. I didn't leave that little border that she suggests if you want it to last longer. So I have no idea how long it'll be before these pop off, especially if I get a firehouse call where I'm in and out of gloves for a while, because that's actually it's one of the easiest ways to lose Peely, is to have it come off with your gloves when you're done taking care of a patient. And I also, right now, my husband had minor surgery recently, and so I actually have to put a glove on every day, twice a day for bandage changing, but I usually actually only put one glove, and I do that on my right hand, so that shouldn't affect this manicure, because this is my left hand. So I'm just putting that top coat on, and it comes out all shiny and shimmery, and on the nails with the powder, it's all that like super smooth transition, and on the ones with the flakes, it's you know, you've got the flakes and you've got more facets to it, and it just comes out beautiful. And that beep is my washer telling me it's done doing the load I put in a while ago. So sorry about that. But yeah, so my workspace and my desk are in my basement right near the laundry. So I end up with noise. It's also right near the hot water heater and the laundry sink and all of that. So there's not a lot, you know, that's life. It's how the world works. And that would be the manicure. I'm now going to turn off the extra lights, my diffuser, and my desk light, so I can show you the beautiful sparkle. And so the thumb and the middle finger have the flakies, and the other fingers have the powder. There's a little bit of powder on my skin, but once the polish dries completely, I'll just go wash my hands and that'll all go away. And I'm also going to use a little fan brush to sweep up all the extra powder and try to get at least most of it back into the jar, because, you know, money saving, also protect from the mess. But that's how you make a beautiful powder or flaky manicure without having to use gel polish, without having to use a water-based top coat, without having to use any of those weird things. You just use this Orly Bonder rubberized base coat. And they actually, not only their polishes, the jar is 0.6 fluid ounces. All their polishes that I've worked with all come in the slightly larger jar. They also sell it as a refill in this 4-ounce bottle, and I believe I saw also listings for an 8-ounce bottle, but this ended up being cheaper. I bought, actually I think I might have ordered an 8-ounce bottle and they sent me 2 4-ounce bottles. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I have used some of it already. I've been using this stuff for over a year. I love it, and it lets me have this manicure without having to worry about gel polish or any of those other issues. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it really super interesting. I'm going to be doing more videos. I do my nails a lot. I love my nails. It's one of my forms of self-care just because it's fun and it's pretty. And it just makes me feel good to always have pretty nails. I'm also going to be doing videos. I'm an EMT. If I ever have health stuff I want to share, like I'm not going to talk about specific cases because of HIPAA regulations, but I might talk about themes and about things you need to know about it, especially there's some things that older people need to know, especially once you're in the range of having a DNR and things like that, about how that interacts with emergency services, because some of those laws are very specific. So I'll do a video about stuff like that. I also personally suffer with depression and some anxiety mostly caused by the depression, so I'll be doing videos about mental health and things like that. I'll be doing videos. I knit, I crochet, I sew, I do DIY in general. My big lamp, the lamp that I'm about to turn on, and you'll see the color difference, and like it's a lovely big lamp with a diffuser and lots of light, and it does great stuff. It's the kind of light that apparently usually when you buy them you spend hundreds of dollars. I spent about $50 on materials, made it myself, partially following someone else's YouTube tutorial, but diverging in certain ways that make it, I think, a little bit better. And other than that, so I build things, I cook, I sew, I knit, I crochet. I like doing things with my hands. I like doing stuff. But I'm also not your typical girly girl. Whatever. We'll see more, and hopefully you like this video. If you like this video, hopefully you'll hit that thumbs up, or that like button, and if you want to see more videos from me, you can hit that subscribe button. I also, because I'd love to review more polishes, but right now I really don't have the budget for it, I'm creating a registry list on Target for all of the cruelty-free brands that they carry, and once I've got that fully set up, I'll also create the registry lists elsewhere, and I will link those in my descriptions. And so if you want me to review a particular brand or shade of polish that's on any of those registries, you can go ahead and do that. I will eventually set up a P.O. box, but right now I can't even afford to do that. So once I do, then you'll be able to send me things you want me to review. But if they're not cruelty-free and they're not at least 5 free, I won't be reviewing them. They'll just, you know, I don't even know what I would do with them because I don't want them to, like, exist. I wish everything was cruelty-free and 5 free and you know, reasonably healthy and safe. So, yeah. But for now, it'll be based on what's available, and I will include more expensive brands that I would never have bought for myself. And so you can, if you want me to review something, then go ahead and send it through the registry. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.